Mostly talking to strangers. Yeah, you just kind of followed my sister around and couldn't remember her name all night. I pretty much crumple up that to-do list, pitch it. Unfortunately, I have teenage twins. I have Botox. My muscles don't work. You have no problem running your mouth any other time.
Yeah, it's getting stuff in it.
It's time to get beyond the drill bit with Beneath the Surface.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Beneath the Surface. Today, we have the pleasure of having Brandi with an I, Blazier-McCoskey here with us, our HR and Human Resources Manager now. So this is her new role, just moving into that out of lovely recruiting where she spent a lot of her time talking to strangers. So, Brandi, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, thanks for having me, Kyle. I have spent, about 7 years at DeepWell, mostly talking to strangers. That's how you and I met. So I started out in HR and recruitment, and as the company grew, I was able to separate from HR and focus specifically on talent. Primary job role was staffing all of the units, all of the maintenance teams, and the office staff as well. So about 90% of my conversations were with people outside of the organization. So 7 years later, as I grew that role and we now have a talent team and I'm primarily in HR, all of those people that I did hire are now employees, and I feel like I know them. And I got to watch their career kind of blossom and grow, and pretty accomplishing to see people come in 6 years ago as a green hat and now they're operating or working in maintenance and they're in management now. So it's been a really cool ride.
It's always fun here at DeepWell. Different rides, different avenues, right? And, working with HR, working with talent, you're working with a ton of other departments, right? So what was your other favorite department to work with outside of HR?
Oh, man, that's tough. I'd have to say training. Training for several reasons. Many people in the competency and training area mentored me. They trained me. They spent many hours teaching me what to look for in applicants, who makes a good applicant, everything from the acronyms that we use to how the units work to is this person a good person to work here? They've always backed me up. They've always double-checked applications that we had to come in. And my role, even in HR, because it's so people-centric, goes hand in hand with talent development. And without our training program and all the people in training, I don't feel like I'd have any kind of support system outside of my own team.
There you go. There's a plug for training because we're awesome, right? All of us downstairs. So how did you get started here at DeepWell?
Oh gosh, it was so long ago. Time flies when you're having fun. I was a human resource director in healthcare. I worked in pediatric home health, and I was looking to just kind of grow. And my husband was in oil and gas, and I came across DeepWell Services, and I did some research. And at the time, we were much smaller. At the time, we maybe had 150 to 170 employees. I was able to meet with the team and come in, and I thought it would be great to focus on a new industry, something that I knew about at home, something that I lived out with my husband, something that I was very familiar with. And I very much enjoyed being able to bring that aspect into the role. So when I spoke to people, I could say, well, I'm an oil-filled wife. I live my life in hitches too. I understand what it's like. I understand the commitment to the schedule. I understand what happens at home when you're dealing it with by yourself. And I felt very strongly connected to that community. And it brought me a lot of joy to be able to talk to people. I talked to applicants' wives, we'd go over benefits, we'd talk about how it helped their family, how they could do the things that they wanted. Their kids didn't have to be in daycare. Mom could stay at home if she wanted. It really made me feel like I was in the right place. I never quite felt that before in any of my past lives, and this felt at peace where I should be.
Yep, they put her in an office, and then they brought me in, and then I got to make friends with Brandy too, and then she made the mistake of inviting me to her wedding, right?
That's true. I think half of my wedding was DeepWell because we were such a tight-knit family. I really appreciated everybody, and we had a great time. Yeah, you just kind of followed my sister around and couldn't remember her name all night until we got annoyed with you, and I finally gave you her name. And then I put all of my post-wedding snacks at the hotel on Kyle's room tab.
I thought I ate it all, which was totally okay. So, typical day. What's your typical day-to-day operations now that you've moved into more of the HR manager, kind of out of the talent pool and the recruiting? What's it like? Is it a little more stressful, a little less stressful, a little bit more, less people facing, or what?
It's really not. And I think a lot of people think or believe that HR, because it's policy, procedure, compliance, benefits, is black and white. And that couldn't be further from the truth. So it's so people-centric, and people are unpredictable. People are unique. People are dynamic. So everything is a gray area. I come in, I got my iced coffee, I'm ready to go. I have a to-do list in my mind, and then I check my email, and then I see some voicemails that come in. I pretty much crumple up that to-do list, pitch it, and then I start a whole new one based on what's coming in. It could be anything from conflict resolution to benefits that, people have questions with. Talent is also in there. So you have employees and not yet employees. I suppose my favorite part about it is that, you get to do a lot of project management, extremely varied. It's not repetitious at all. The problem solving that goes into people is great. It's a constant motivator to push you into developing your skills, to looking at how we can do things better. You can be very innovative. What if we try this? What if we do this? What if we bring people into this? What if we present it in this way to see how it's received? I'm very much a silver lining kind of person. So if I only scratch 2 things off the to-do list and I had a positive resolution going on during the day, there's a plus.
Moving forward, always making progress, and you had it right that we have some characters here, and getting to know them and going through the interview process. With that, right, we have a lot of questions. Guys trying to get their friends in here, trying to get referrals in here, especially as, we're growing and heading, different directions. What's the best way that they can get their guys' application seen, their friend, their family members, application seen by the talent acquisition team?
Yeah, that's a great question. That's probably one that we get the most frequent. So the best thing that they can do is, first and foremost, have their friend apply online. Make sure that they have an up-to-date resume, make sure that they have, an email address, a valid working phone number. It's unfortunate when we try to call somebody and we're not able to get a hold of them. So once that person has put their application in, we encourage them to send it to our career email, which is now hiring at deepwellservices.com. That is a shared inbox with our entire talent team. So our recruiters can go in, they can take a look at the applications, they can do the proper follow-up. But if you're the referring employee, one of the best things that you can do is have an outstanding work performance. So if you are a driven, high-performing employee and you tell us that you have a referral, we're going to prioritize that, because if their work ethic is anything like yours, we want to make sure that we add that to our culture.
So now we're going to shift a little bit of gears. We're going to get away from work and we're going to go to hobbies. What are your hobbies? What do you like to do besides annoy your husband? Or him annoy you? I don't know how this works, but I get the phone calls either way.
That's very true. What do I like to do? So I like to just chill out and kind of relax. I'm very much a homebody. I like things to kind of be peaceful, relaxing. I like to clean, light a candle, and not let anybody in my house touch anything after that. Can't live here right now because the house is clean. I love to read. I try to read as much as I can. I try to read fiction, nonfiction, motivational, anything that will give me a different perspective. So I spend a lot of time reading. Unfortunately, I have teenage twins and they don't drive yet. So what I like to do isn't what I get to do. Usually I'm teen Uber. So I have a second job as teen Uber. Mom, can you take me to the gym? Mom, can I go to boxing? Mom, can I go to MMA? Mom, can I go here? Mom, can I go there? So relaxing comes a little bit later. They get their driver's license maybe in the next year.
All right, so now we're going to do some bucket list. What do you want to knock off your bucket list next?
It's really cool that we're talking about this because a couple weeks ago, I had the pleasure of going to a conference where I saw a gentleman named Sebastian Terry speak. And he created this wonderful website. It's called 100 Things, where he created a bucket list, and his bucket list is insane. He has some crazy stuff on there. So he challenged us to create a bucket list. And a lot of times you just get caught up in your day-to-day and you're like, I just want to get this stuff done today, or this is what I have to do this weekend. So I sat down and I made a small one. I definitely want to learn a foreign language, but even smaller and more achievable, kind of laughable, I don't have a passport. I want a passport. I've been all up and down the East Coast. I've branched out. I've been to the South, working on crossing my way over the United States, but I've never really left the United States other than Canada when I was younger and you didn't need a passport. So my very small first bucket list item is going to be to get a passport, and then it's going to be learn a foreign language, and then use my passport to go somewhere and use that language.
All right, B Dizzle, thanks for coming on the podcast. Here we are at the end. It's game time. We're going to play Minute to Win It. It's 3 mini games, right? Kind of a little different, something new. I don't even know what's coming. So, good luck.
Perfect. Bring it on.
Today's first game is going to be cup stat. We're going to have to stack these 27 red solo cups in a minute as quickly as possible to make a little Egyptian pyramid as best we can. And just as the gentleman I am, ladies first.
You're going down. Tell me when.
Gotta do the Mission Impossible music. Dun 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 dun. Took you an entire minute. It took you 59 seconds.
The pyramid's going to be taller than you are.
That's all right, then nobody will see me. I win.
Aww.
Round 1 is over, and I'm in the lead with 1-0 because I'm on number 1. I am number 1. So now we're going to move into the Cookie Monster game. So we're going to take these Oreos, we're going to put them on our foreheads and lean our head back, and we're going to allow it to travel down our face and try to get it in our mouth.
Am I allowed to eat it?
I mean, once you get it into your mouth, I would hope so. What do you do? Spit it out? Whoever gets it first or before the minute wins.
All right, I'm going to even it up.
Oh.
You have no problem running your mouth any other time.
Yeah, it's getting stuff in it.
If I was worried about being on camera and having any shame in how I look, it's gone now. I gotta start all over.
Yeah, I would have started like 6 times. I win.
Oh.
I have 10 seconds to spare. I thought my big ass nose would get in the way.
I have Botox. My muscles don't work.
Last but not least, I may be winning 2-0, but in the spirit of competition and family, I'll wipe my score to 0 and let the winner of this take all the marbles and the 50 swag points. We have 1 minute, or whoever stacks first. Whoever beats this or has the most pennies stacked in the minute time with one hand wins. How many pennies you got left?
I don't know. This is stressing me out. I want to use my other hand.
Yeah, I'm gonna lose those ones anyway. Dun 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 dun.
Ah! See, this is why I stick to reading.
Reading is fundamental. I was short by 2 pennies. So, we wiped the scoreboard clean and I still beat you. So now I have another 50 swag points. Welcome to being the second person that's lost to me out of 7. How does that make you feel?
I feel pretty good, right? I feel like my job is to help people, and I helped you with your confidence in your games. I could beat you left-handed, but I think that's against our safety policy.
Oh, yeah. Now that we're wrapping up on Beneath the Surface, we appreciate you guys coming and checking out the podcast, and we'll see you next time when we get beyond the drill bit, beneath the surface.
Adios.